The rusted sign creaked in the wind, a haunting reminder of a once bustling place now left to decay. The sign, barely legible, whispered tales of a forgotten past. Washwell Depot, it proclaimed in faded paint, the letters barely clinging to the surface, much like the memories of those who once frequented this place, a relic of a bygone era. The depot stood as a testament to the relentless march of time, its walls echoing with the ghosts of the past. The building crouched low, shrouded in a perpetual gloom, as if it were hiding from the world that had long since moved on. Durham City had long forgotten the public laundry, a place once filled with the hum of machines and the chatter of workers. Now it stood as a skeletal monument to forgotten chores and lost time, its structure slowly succumbing to the ravages of neglect. The windows were boarded shut like vacant eyes staring into oblivion, keeping the secrets of the past locked away. The air hung heavy with the dampness of neglect, a palpable sense of abandonment that clung to every surface. It carried the metallic scent of rust and the faintest hint of bleach, a grim cocktail that spoke of long-forgotten accidents and lingering sorrow. A grim cocktail that spoke of long-forgotten accidents and lingering sorrow. The very air seemed to whisper of the lives that had once intersected here. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the wind whistling through the gaps in the boarded windows, a mournful tune that echoed through the empty halls. Nature was slowly reclaiming what man had left behind. Vines creeping up the walls and plants sprouting through the cracks in the pavement. The fog was a regular visitor here, rolling in from the nearby river, blanketing the depot in an ethereal shroud. It rolled in from the nearby river, blanketing the depot in an ethereal shroud, as if the fog itself was hesitant to reveal the horrors that lay within. It was as if the fog itself was hesitant to reveal the horrors that lay within. Or perhaps it was a conspirator obscuring the building from prying eyes. Or perhaps it was a conspirator obscuring the building from prying eyes, hiding its secrets from a world that had moved on. Hiding its secrets from a world that had moved on. The remains of Washwell stood as a silent witness to the passage of time, a monument to the impermanence of human endeavor. The silence within the Washwell depot was denser than the fog outside. It pressed down, heavy and expectant, as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting. The floor was littered with debris, chunks of plaster, broken glass, and scattered paperwork. Invoices for wash cycles long since completed. Dust covered every surface, thick and undisturbed. It coated the rows of washing machines, their chrome dulled with time and neglect. The machines stood like sentinels, their empty drums gaping like hungry mouths. Each one a silent testament to the countless lives that had passed through these doors, their stories now lost to time. The air was thick with the ghosts of detergent and fabric softener, a cloying artificial sweetness that did little to mask the underlying stench of decay. The faint hum of electricity hung in the air, a discordant note in the oppressive silence. It was a sound that shouldn't be there, a sound that spoke of something being alive in this tomb of forgotten laundry. Roman tugged his work gloves tighter. A city maintenance contractor, he was used to dirty jobs. But something about the Washwell depot made his skin crawl. He hefted his toolbox, its weight comforting against his leg. The city wanted an assessment, a quote for demolition, simple enough. The door groaned open, protesting after years of disuse. A wave of stale, humid air washed over him. He stepped inside, the air immediately feeling heavier, colder. The smell hit him then, a rancid mix of mildew and something else, something metallic, something vaguely sweet. He flipped open his notebook, the paper feeling oddly loud in the oppressive silence. Washwell Depot, he muttered, scribbling down the date. The echo of his own voice startled him. He glanced around, his unease growing. The silence wasn't empty. It felt like something was watching him from the shadows. Roman moved deeper into the depot, his footsteps echoing in the vast emptiness. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of mildew was almost overpowering. He could feel the weight of the years pressing down on the building, each step kicking up small clouds of debris. He noted the peeling paint, the crumbling plaster. The walls seemed to whisper stories of a time long past, of bustling activity now replaced by silence and decay. Years of neglect had taken their toll. The once sturdy structure now felt fragile. as if it could collapse at any moment. The ceiling sagged in places and the floorboards creaked ominously underfoot. He stopped before a row of washing machines, their lids slightly ajar. They stood like silent sentinels, relics of a bygone era. The machines were covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs stretched between them. He peered into one, the drum bone dry. Strange, it was as if they hadn't been used in decades, yet there was something unsettling about their presence. He moved on, his hand trailing along the cold metal of the machines. The chill of the metal sent a shiver up his arm, a stark contrast to the oppressive heat of the room. Each one was unplugged, yet he could have sworn he felt a faint vibration. It was almost imperceptible, but it was there, a subtle hum that seemed to resonate through the metal, a low hum that seemed to emanate from the very core of the building. It was a sound that felt alive, as if the building itself was breathing, whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. He reached the back of the depot, where a large drainage pit was set into the floor. The pit was surrounded by rusted metal grating, and the air around it was noticeably cooler. The metal grating was rusted and partially dislodged. It looked as if it hadn't been touched in years, yet there was a sense of recent disturbance. He knelt down, shining his flashlight into the murky depths. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing the thick, oily black water below. The water was a thick, oily black. It looked almost alive, its surface rippling slightly as if something was moving beneath. It bubbled slightly as if something was being stirred within. The sight of it sent a chill down his spine, a sense of foreboding that he couldn't shake. A shiver ran down his spine. The air seemed to grow colder and the sense of being watched intensified. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Every shadow seemed to move. Every creak of the building felt like a whisper in his ear, that something was down there, lurking just beneath the surface of the foul water. He could feel its presence, a malevolent force waiting to be discovered. Section 5. A face in the deep. The flashlight beam danced across the surface of the water, casting eerie reflections that seemed to twist and writhe in the darkness. Roman leaned closer, trying to see through the murky depths. His breath was shallow, each inhale filled with the stench of decay. The smell was overpowering now, a sickening blend of decay and something else, something metallic and sharp that made his eyes water, something that made his stomach churn violently, threatening to empty its contents right there. He thought he saw something move in the depths, a flicker of motion that sent a shiver down his spine, a shadow shifting just beyond the reach of his light. Elusive and haunting, as if it were playing a sinister game. He held his breath, his heart pounding against his ribs like a drum, each beat echoing in his ears. The shadow moved again, slowly rising toward the surface. His blood ran cold. It was a face emerging from the depths like a ghostly apparition, pale and bloated, staring up at him with empty, accusing eyes that seemed to pierce through his very soul. A hand, white and skeletal, emerged from the blackness, clutching at the edge of the pit with a desperate grip. Roman stumbled back, dropping his flashlight with a clatter that echoed in the still night air. He scrambled away from the pit, his breath catching in his throat, each gasp a struggle. Panic surged through him, cold and sharp, like icy fingers gripping his heart. He had to get out of there, now. The urge to flee was overwhelming, primal. He fumbled for his phone, his fingers trembling uncontrollably. There was no signal, of course not. He was trapped, alone in the darkness, with whatever lurked beneath the surface. Section 6. No signal. The silence in the Washwell depot was deafening now. Roman's heart pounded in his ears, a frantic drumbeat against the silence. He spun around, searching for an escape route. The boarded windows offered no solace. He was trapped in this watery tomb with whatever lurked beneath the surface. His phone felt useless in his clammy grip. He tried again, desperation clawing at his throat. No signal, the robotic voice echoed his fear back at him. He shoved the phone into his pocket, the metal edge digging into his palm. He needed to think, he needed a plan. He couldn't stay here, he had to get help. But how? The boarded windows were too high to reach. The door. He had to get to the door. He took a step back, his eyes never leaving the drainage pit. The water was still now, the surface unbroken, but he knew it was there, waiting for him to let his guard down. Section 7. Trapped. Panic threatened to overwhelm him. Roman fought to control his breathing, to think clearly. He scanned the room again, his eyes searching for anything that could help him. That's when he saw it. A heavy wrench, lying discarded near a pile of debris. He lunged for it, his fingers closing around the cold, greasy metal. He had a weapon now, something to defend himself with. He approached the drainage pit cautiously, the wrench raised. The water was still again, the face gone. He took another step closer, peering into the murky depths. Something glinted beneath the surface, something metallic, something golden. He reached for it, his fingers brushing against something cold and slimy. He recoiled, his stomach churning. He couldn't reach it. He needed to get closer. He took a step, then another. The grating beneath his feet groaned ominously. He froze, his heart in his throat. It was too late. The metal snapped. Section 8. Wash cycle complete. The fall was short but brutal. Roman landed hard on the concrete floor of the pit, the stench of decay washing over him. He scrambled to his feet, his clothes soaked in the foul water. He looked up, his heart sinking. The edge of the pit seemed miles above him. He was trapped. He could hear the water churning above him. He looked down and saw them, more hands reaching up from the darkness, grasping at his legs, his waist. He thrashed wildly, his screams swallowed by the oppressive silence of the Washwell depot. He was being dragged down into the murky depths. The Washwell depot stood silent once more, the only sound the rhythmic drip of water from a broken pipe, a macabre metronome marking the passage of time. The fog swirled outside, obscuring the building from view. The Washwell depot had claimed another victim, its secret still safe within its decaying walls. The wash cycle was complete.